Hello, this is a sequel to my Anglo-Saxon Powers and Islam vid, and it asks the question: is the United States an Anglo-Saxon power anymore? We can say that the majority of the people in the United States, ethnically speaking, are either Anglo-Saxon or of Celtic origin. Um, there are, of course, significant minorities of the Italian Americans, over 20 million Italian Americans. They are very hard working people and contributed a tremendous amount to the United States in its culture, its science, and they've won many congressional medals of honor in fighting World War Two. And of course, they make a strong cultural link between Europe and the United States. The other big cultural link between Europe and the United States is that England is part of the European Union as part of the United Kingdom, which is part of the European Union, and there is the Anglophone relationship, that is the English speaking relationship between America and England. There is also that relationship between America and Australia, New Zealand, and arguably also India, because the political elite in India speak Hindi and English. One Indian intellectual said that he thought in English. Um, and so this makes a global English speaking community, which complements the European Union very well, because the European Union's language in the future most probably will be English, since English is the second language in Germany, which is the largest partner that England has in Europe. To convince the French to speak English might take a little bit longer. But is America really an Anglo-Saxon country? It is a multi-ethnic country, but one that promotes itself as an Anglo-Saxon country, an Anglo-Saxon power. But really, its political elite have got no political business elite. Um, and its military policy and foreign policy have actually very little to do with England anymore. Um, and with that, I'm talking chiefly about the Saudi and Israeli lobby. Is America, in actual terms of its the intellectual material that's part, the authors of its intellectual material, its values, still an Anglo-Saxon country, or is it a Middle Eastern country because of the powerful Israeli lobby in the United States, and the powerful Arab lobby in the United States? Now, whilst there's a significant minority of Islamic people in the United States, which actually exceeds the amount of Jewish people in the United States, the the Jewish minority is only 2%, but yet it has a tremendous amount of wealth as well. But they're just below the amount of wealth that Indians have got. So it's not Indians from the subcontinent. That is not the chief reason why, in terms of just wealth, that the Americans are so sort of devoted to Israel. It's not because Israel is a democratic country, but because America needs a base in the Middle East. Now, with the Americans being in Iraq and in Pakistan, is the actual value of Israel as a military ally any really that great? Can't we demilitarize Israel and still protect it with American military power? That's a question. So there is certainly a special relationship between Israel and America, but is there a special relationship between England and America anymore? I would argue there's not. America sees us basically as their aircraft carrier in the North Sea, and it can increasingly diminish in value. You know, there's certainly a military alliance with us, but really culturally, the American political elite have more in common with Israel and more closer business ties with the Saudi royal family than um, then we are really then that's really told about in the news, and that's one of the things that they were criticised after 9/11, because of course the business links between the Osama bin Laden's family and many families in the United States, powerful families in the United States. Now it doesn't mean that Al Qaeda went and told them all that they were going to do 9/11. Al Qaeda simply used that as a shadow to get underneath the radar, so to speak, to do their operation. And I do believe 9/11 was done by Al Qaeda on its own. It's a very, very powerful organisation. It's not really expressed in the media how powerful Al Qaeda is. But the Israeli lobby and the Saudi lobby are extremely powerful in the United States. So you just think of how much Fox News, for instance, is owned by Saudi Arabia. That's why they won't criticise Saudi Arabia. Um, the Israeli lobby is though divided, because traditionally Jewish voters in America have been pro-Democrat rather than pro-Republican. But now you're seeing a security orientated viewpoint of intellectuals. And when I mentioned the Council of Foreign Relations, the Council of Foreign Relations doesn't make policy, but it does influence policy, it does steer policy. The Council of Foreign Relations is an umbrella pressure group which links in with the different universities in the United States. It is only one, but of many, many different groups, and it's been accused of being neoconservative and all the rest of it. But I'm not going to go into any wild theories about the Council of Foreign Relations. It's very open. You can go to its website. You can see what they're doing. It's not a secret. And if you watch Conversations with History, you get many people who are very top thinkers from the Council of Foreign Relations. I think Council of Foreign Relations is a bit dubious though. They will say one thing to the public and one thing to what they think their peer audience is. And they're very, very pro-Israel. I mean, when Hillary Clinton goes and does a speech to the Council of Foreign Relations, you can see how, and then she goes and speaks to the public and says, we want to wipe Iran off the map, and we can set off a nuclear explosion in Iran. I mean, that's talking about genocide basically. But she doesn't say that in the Council of Foreign Relations. She's rabble rousing, okay, to the Rush Limbaughs of this world, to the media, to look strong. She's using politics, okay. But the key point about the different strategy between the Israeli lobby and the Europeans, which are chiefly the European Union, is not governed by Germany, but it is in a sense run by Germany, because Germany has the greatest amount of voting power, and it produces the most intellectual work with England as well. And the key to this is the university system, of course, which produces these intellectuals who then make this policy. And so you get informal political conventions which then influence policy, because those policy makers are looking for the best advice, and that advice which is given is from those universities and from those steering groups is what they listen to. Well, the German orientated EU really uses more incentives. It has managed to change the laws of of Turkey and to develop Turkey into a better partner for the EU. So the question is, if the Americans had a choice, who would be the 51st state? Would it be Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Celtic England, or Zionist Israel, or would they like a much more secular, more liberal Israel, which is how Israel started? off as